If you live in Canada or another cold part of the world, you may have looked at van life and overlanding rigs and thought, well, that would never work for me because it's too cold where I live. But what if I told you you can conquer the cold with as few as 6 key items? That's why I've compiled a list of the 6 most effective items for surviving extreme cold in a camper. And at the end of this video, I'm gonna prove just how warm they can keep you by enduring a negative 20-degree night in my van. But first, let's talk about the gear. Now, on my channel, I've already detailed what kinds of things I have done to make my van more prepared for winter. It's insulated, and I have covers for every window and the ceiling fan. But insulation alone isn't enough to keep you warm. That brings me to the first key item on our list, the diesel heater, or really any kind of heater. It is critical to have a source of heat in your build if you want your space to be comfortable. Although there are builds that forego this piece of gear, they're usually built by people that are using their camper van just to sleep in. And that's all right. I, on the other hand, want to be comfortable in my space at all times. So whether it's an electric heater, a vented propane heater, or a wood-burning stove, it's important to have a primary source of heat in your build so you can comfortably spend time in your space. And if you don't want to be running the heater non-stop, consider this next item on our list. Obviously, layering clothes is one of the easiest and best ways to keep yourself warm. But not all clothes are made equal. That's why you need to seriously consider number 2 on our list, base layers. That's right, I'm talking about Grandpappy's long johns, or reliable. These can and will keep you much warmer than other styles of clothing because they're pressed right up against your skin, and so they trap heat at the source. And also, doubling up on any of these isn't gonna hurt. This next one was a game changer for me in terms of comfortability on cold nights, and it's something I'm surprised I haven't seen more of: hot water bottles. Can you hear that? Hot water bottles are a godsend for van life. They're cheap, require nothing but the water that you put into them, which can be reused. They're super simple and quick to heat up, and their heat lasts for hours. In my build, I use the induction cooktop to heat the water, and it only takes 2 minutes before the water's at 80 degrees. Perfect for an entire night of heat. Speaking of heat that lasts all night, the next key item on our list is an electric blanket. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. This item and the last one on our list use tons of electricity, and most builds, including maybe your own future build, just wouldn't be able to support it. And you're right. But there's a workaround here. Say you don't have a good enough electrical system to support heating a water bottle and running an electric blanket. Fine. There's more than one way to heat the water for your bottle though. Build a fire, use a camping stove, use a propane stove. Heck, you could probably get it warm using a few candles and the right setup, which leaves all your energy left for your electric blanket, something that sips on power. But for those who can invest a little more into their electrical system, my number 1 recommendation is a DC to DC charger. It's simple. In the winter, there's less sun, so your solar panels won't be giving you enough energy to make back what you're using in a day. Get a DC to DC charger, and with a quick drive that you were probably gonna do anyway, your batteries are topped up and you can use that energy on heat. And the last item before we put these all to the test is the humble blanket. You saw this one coming, but you can't go wrong with stacking a few extra blankets on you while you sleep or while you relax in your rig. Make sure your camper is stocked with extra high quality blankets before your next winter adventure. You will not regret it. This is not an exhaustive list by any means, but was made more so to give you a better idea of the kinds of things I have found to work. So if I missed something obvious, let me know in the comments below this video. And while you're down there, hit subscribe. I've got a ton of exciting videos coming up that you're not going to want to miss. But for now, let's put this stuff to the test. Okay, here we are in the van. It's not exactly the negative 20 degrees they forecasted, but I'm not so mad about that. I left my thermometer outside until just now so we can see what the temperature is outside versus what it gets to in here. I'm dressed in my comfiest clothes with my base layers on. You're just gonna have to believe me that the long johns are on too. And I'm just about to heat up my hot water from my water bottle. This cord here is leading to the electric blanket, which is already heating up the bed. And the inverter is on so I can just go ahead and heat up my water. Let's see how much power this is drawing. So right now we're starting at 98%, drawing 7.6 amps, and you can see when I turn the stovetop on to boil, those amps just climb. And in the high 90s, I'm really not worried about using this much energy. It's not really going to take that big of a toll on my system, and this heated water bottle is really going to be worth it. All of the windows have their covers on them just to trap as much heat as possible. Don't want to lose any out of the windows, and the ceiling fan also has one in, being held up by an empty toilet paper roll because in van life you make do. And we're already up to 8.2 in here, nice. Between the induction cooktop and the diesel heater running right now, I'm sure it sounds great on the audio, but let's check the bed. Oh, okay, it's getting toasty under there. Yep, she's ready. Now, I know this doesn't look like the safest way to get this water in here, but I've never burned myself doing it before, but the first time I do it would be on camera, so. And just like that, you got a hot water bottle. Let's put him where he belongs. And after that, there's not much left to do. Just gonna dim the lights and get in bed. Now that I'm filming myself in bed, I feel like we're connecting on a deeper level. Do you? Oh, no, you don't? Yeah, me neither. No, it was a joke. So I just checked the battery and we only ended up using 7% to both heat the water and run my electric blanket for this whole time and run the diesel heater. So pretty good if you ask me. And just to update you on the temperature, it is now 12.6 degrees in here. Literally so cozy. 12.8. You may have noticed I'm under about 60 blankets, and that might be contributing to how cozy I feel, but something tells me it's the hot water bottle between my legs. And with that, I feel like it's time to sign off for the night. I'll let you guys know how everything went in the morning, but for now, good night. Guys, I lived! Well, good morning. It's about 7:40 a.m., 4.8 degrees in here, and I just had an amazing sleep. It was actually pretty cold in here at some points, but it was warm enough for me to change into a regular t-shirt and not run the diesel heater all night. Overall, I'm pleased with how everything went. So to summarize, have a primary heat source, heat a hot water bottle, maybe use an electric blanket, definitely use regular blankets, wear your warm clothes, and if you do all that, I think you'll be just fine. Anyway, hit like on the video so more people like you can see it, and if you're thinking about building out your own camper, then you need to watch this video next to kickstart your planning. Thanks for watching.